guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me for another one of my videos today. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about how to create real success in your life. Now, I was going to keep this to business, but then I thought, no, this can really be so relevant across the board to every aspect of our life. So this definitely is a video for everybody, regardless of your employment, regardless of whether you have a business or not, regardless. So I started this conversation over on Instagram last week by posting a quote that I really loved. So I thought I'd share it with you just in case you haven't seen it. And it is, the most important lesson you won't learn in school is to get out there and try 100 things and get over the fact that 98 of them won't work. And I really loved this quote because it's so true. We're not taught how to prepare for failure. We aren't taught how to, that actually a lot of the things that we will try probably won't work out, and that's okay. And like, what I really wanted to stress to you today is that with social media, with comparison, with how the world is, we are so trained to see everybody's successes. Like, everybody's posting their successes, but really no one's posting their failures, or no one's posting when things haven't worked out. So we're kind of trapped in this world where we see successes, we see people thriving, we see people doing really well, which is incredible to see, obviously, but equally it then puts us in that trap where we think, oh, so why is my stuff not working out? Why am I not further ahead? Why am I not as successful as that person? So it really fuels comparison, and this is where we really need to shine light upon this and talk authentically, talk rawly, talk honestly. So over the years of me doing life coaching, well, I say over the years, it's been 2.5 years since I started my spiritual and coaching business. I got asked questions, especially when I kind of integrated business coaching into it, of why I was doing business coaching when I've only run a business for 2 years. And I thought, hang on a minute, like, as clear as I tried to make my website, and it really showed me that people will see what they want to see, or people will presume that one business, they won't read your website, they won't read the about section or the bit on your coaching page where you've said your whole entire story of how you've got here, but they will see you on Instagram and they'll see that success and think, well, it must just be from this one thing, this one business she's been doing for 2 years, so what qualifies her? When actually the truth of the matter is that I have been an entrepreneur for 8 years of my life, which is like a heck of a long time, which I'm super grateful and proud of, but that's always what I've wanted to do. But when I was in school, I was never told, actually it's really hard to be an entrepreneur, like, things won't work out, your first business might not be your first success, and what you do may not always work out. So when I first started my entrepreneur journey, God, like 8 years ago now, I was 18 and I started a nail business. I had a nail business, like a beauty business as such, where I did lots of different treatments, and I loved doing that. I loved doing nails. It was really creative for me. I loved being creative, and I loved qualifying in that and doing that and running a business. I loved it, and I run that alongside a full-time job as well. I honestly don't know how I did this. And I ran that business for, gosh, a year and a half, I think it was. But because I moved away from the area that I was in, because my relationship split up with the first boyfriend who put me in debt, obviously for monetary reasons and location reasons, I couldn't do it because I was living at home with my parents again. So that was my first business, and I never saw it as a failure. I just saw it as, right, that's not meant for me. Okay, what can I do now? And then that's when my second business sort of came in, when I couldn't work, because I had my depression, when I had to take action, get out of debt, and that's how I found couponing, and then obviously wanted to help other people with that. So that's how my second business came in. So really for the last 6 years, through that business, I trained in social media, I qualified in social media marketing, I've studied social media. It has been my life for 6 years. I have seen social media evolve from very different spaces where Instagram was very new and also like nobody used it. So I've literally seen the rise of Facebook, how powerful Facebook was, created a brand with over 500,000 followers on Facebook, then saw the Facebook crash, then had to sell a Facebook business in the Facebook crash, then launched this business 2 years ago, then Instagram rose up. So really, like, I've seen a lot in the 6 years that I have been doing this. And along that journey, I've always sort of coached other businesses, not necessarily in a formal setting, but along that time I've done consultancy with companies, companies. So I've helped other companies grow their platforms, social media, things like that. So I've always kind of been in that setting over the last 6 years of my 8-year journey. So you can see that this was not an overnight success. This was not, you know, I've even been doing this YouTube channel for like 4 or 5 years now, I think it is. So really, you know, what people don't see is the years of preparation, the years of learning and studying and mastering your trade. So I know this is quite business related, the example I'm giving, but obviously use this in your life as appropriate. But I had an interesting conversation, and I saw a couple, and I saw actually on a few of my spiritual friends' Instagram stories, they were talking about their journey recently as well. And they were sharing that actually their businesses had gone through about 2 or 3 different formats since those 8 years. And then they settled on this, which is obviously their personal brand, very much like what I'm doing now in my business, and that they started sort of 8 to 10 years ago. And I think, right, so if I've done this and other people are doing this, like, so it was really eye-opening for me to see that I wasn't alone in this, and that actually it has taken a lot of people kind of that 6 to 8 to 10 years to really get to that thriving place where they are in the moment, they're having all that kind of success and recognition, and things are working out and things are successes. And that's not to say that it's going to take you 8 to 10 years. I'm not saying it's going to take everybody 8 to 10 years. It doesn't. But what I'm saying is that creating a business, creating a brand, creating success in your life, it takes time. It takes time to build, and that's not a bad thing. And I've had clients come to me and say that they've worked with other coaches who have promised that overnight success, promised that, you know, monetary abundance, whatever it may be, promise them that they'll earn X amount of money within a month or whatever, and it hasn't happened. And that's not because you're a failure. And that's what I really stress to people. You showed up, you invested in yourself, you took action, you did everything, but things take time to grow. And actually what I say to people is that even with a business, but any decision in your life that you make or start, or a venture or an idea you kind of work upon, it takes time for that energy to align. It takes time for your followers, for your clients to align with your work. It takes time for it to come together, and that's not a bad thing. A lot of the time when you see these overnight successes, it's actually really unsustainable for people, because a lot of the time when I've seen companies being thrust into the spotlight, or they've really kind of been an overnight success from a celebrity sharing them, or do you know what I mean, just they've just come into the spotlight and come into that moment as such, where the attention's on them, the eyes are on them as such, and it's actually really unsustainable for them, because they haven't prepared for it, they're not ready for it, they can't sustainably keep it, and they maybe can't keep up with demands, they can't keep up with the resources they've got. There's so many different things. So really you have to ask yourself, and especially if you've got your own business, ask yourself this: if I was to be like, you know, where I am, or whoever you kind of look up to and admire, if you were to have that success which you are craving right here, right now, would you sustainably be able to keep it up? Would you be able to deal with the demand? Would you be able to deal with that lifestyle change? Would you be able to deal with that? And this is what I say with money as well. If you were to suddenly get £30 million in your bank account, would you sustainably be able to keep it? Would your mindset be able to work with it? So really, when the universe isn't maybe delivering that success, recognition, sales, money, whatever it may be to you, it's not that you're not deserving, it's not that you're doing anything particularly wrong, it's actually that you're working up and building up to that place where you can sustainably keep it for the highest good of all. So really the universe is protecting you, and that's what I've learned along this journey, that I needed those 2 previous businesses before I started this business to know what it meant to run a business, to know what I wanted to do. Because I know if this had been my first business, like I wouldn't have been able to do it, if I'm honest. Like, it just wouldn't have been in the right place. And you know, it's a lot of commitment, and a lot of the time people, like, they see the glamour of running their own business, or they see the glamour of being an influencer or having followers, but actually it's hard work and commitment, and that's sometimes what people aren't willing to put in. So you've got to be willing to put in those man hours, you've got to be willing to put in that time, commitment, energy, maybe even for free for a while, as you kind of build up sustainably and, you know, build up correctly as such. And, you know, your time will come, absolutely your time will come. And that's what I've learned, that, you know, with business, your time will absolutely come, but it takes time to master your trade. It takes time to learn these things. Like, again, if you were thrust into that spotlight and thrust into where you want to be, are you going to have the knowledge? Are you going to have the tools and techniques and capabilities to do that, to teach that, to run that, to do that thing? So really you have to think, you know, I am grateful I have had 8 years of entrepreneurial experience and then 6 years of solid social media experience, because now I'm like, I get it. I get what works. I understand things. I've educated myself. I've learned. I've qualified in things. So really it's not a bad thing. This is all a journey. So don't think that actually taking your time to flow and to learn and to grow and to qualify and to really learn and master your trade is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. And that doesn't mean you can't earn money from it either. Like, I'm not saying that you have to just shut your business and start 2 others before you get that business. But like I said with that quote, it's understanding that 98 of your 100 ideas probably won't work, and that's okay. But it takes those 2, it only takes those 2 to work and for it to be good. And 2 out of 3 of my businesses were a success. The first one wasn't really, and even before that I had previous ideas. And I've had numerous ideas throughout all 3 businesses that also haven't worked out, haven't been a success, have flopped, and I've had to drop them. And that's not anything wrong with me, that's just, it wasn't in alignment with me. So really, again, the universe is protecting me and saying, no, that's not for you. Here's something else. Here's your something better. So no matter what you do, not everything is going to work out, and that's okay. And it's learning to see failure as an opportunity, of seeing it as, what is this giving me an opportunity to see here? Like, for me, those things, they weren't in alignment to me. So actually something better is planned, and something more aligned and probably more rewarding is lined up for me. And that's okay. I don't want anything that's not meant for me, but I tried, I showed up, I gave it my all. And that's what you need to see here. With failure, you have to say, did I give my all? Did I show up? Did I do everything I could? If the answer is yes, then it just wasn't meant to be. And actually, if you can honestly sit there and say, maybe I didn't do everything I could have, then you can take that as a lesson as well, of saying, next time, this is what I can do better. Next time, this is what I can focus on to help make this, you know, have a different, more positive outcome as such. So as I said, you know, there have been so many failures, successes, and a big old long journey for me over the last 8 years, but people will only see like the last 2 years where they see the book, they see all of this, and they think, they don't know the backstory, they don't know the journey as such. So when you look at people online, social media, businesses, think about it. That person's probably been 8 years in the making, but you're only seeing that small glimpse of that success, or that small glimpse of where they've made it. So actually what you think is an overnight success can probably be 8 to 10 years in the making. And also coaches who promise that they can make you an overnight success, they weren't an overnight success. They probably weren't at all. So how can someone promise you that if they haven't even done it themselves? And you don't want that. You want sustainability. You're here for a lifetime. You're not here for a season. That's what I always say. So building up sustainably and, you know, shifting your mindset to be sustainable with each stage of your business, each stage of your life, each stage of your success is so much healthier. It's not stressful, it's not pressure. You're learning and growing as you go, and you will enjoy that process so much more than being thrust into something you have no idea what you're doing, no clue, and losing it all because you can't keep it. So the universe protects us. The universe has our best interests at heart, and it knows when we are ready to keep and thrive with those things. So just know that your time will come, and that, you know, all the hard work, all the like effort and energy and love and time you are putting into your projects, your business, your life, your ideas, your inspirations, it is all working out for you. It is all getting there. but see it as a journey. Like, Rome wasn't built in a day. The day you plant that fruit tree is not the day you pick the fruit. See it as a journey. Like, you've planted those seeds, you've planted the intentions, and now it's time to nurture, grow that plant so that one day it blossoms and gives you that fruit that you want. And the best way to put yourself in the best position for that is to be consistent, to show up, to do your best, and to keep going. Like, the way you succeed in business and in life is by having an attitude of getting back up. As Brene Brown famously says, and I love this analogy of being in the arena of life, like, when you're in the arena of life, you're going to get knocked down. But just like, you know, with, I don't know, like a job interview or a relationship or something, when you get knocked down or rejected, you don't just say, oh, well, I'm obviously never gonna love, I'm obviously never gonna work. You get back up and you try again. And this is what business is. A lot of the time when people fall in business, they will stay down because they think that they're not deserving. They think that if it hasn't worked out, it's never going to work out, when actually business is exactly the same as life. You're going to get knocked down 98 times, and you have to get up every single time and keep going, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep believing in what you are doing here and remembering why you're doing this in the first place, so that those 2 times it works out are worth everything. And it will be worth everything. I promise you, it's worth everything. But you have to keep getting back up, and it's having that attitude of where you can do that without seeing failure as, oh my God, and actually seeing it as an opportunity for something better. And also, what I always think about, especially in the kind of wellness and self-help industry, is not to focus on numbers, not to focus on how much money you can earn, not to focus on like 6-7 figure brand, all that bullshit. It's actually how many smiles you can put on people's faces, how much love you can bring into people's lives, how many smiles people can sort of find with your work or leave from your sessions or leave from whatever it is, your products, whatever. Think about the smiles, not the money, and the universe will reward you. Like, I did this for so long in all of my businesses, and I never got the results I wanted. I never got that success, recognition, or anything I wanted until I stopped and thought, it's not about followers, it's not about numbers, it's not about even money. Money will always come to me. The universe will always make sure my needs are met. But actually, it's about how many smiles I can put on people's faces and making sure my work reaches as many people it can in my capabilities, but surrendering that as well. So focusing on, actually, my intention here is to help people and help as many people as possible, than lining my own pockets. And it's not wrong to want money. Like, again, it's not wrong to want to be successful or want money. Absolutely not. But it's making sure that your intentions behind those transactions from that money, etc., isn't ego. It's coming from a good place, an aligned place, where you're gonna energetically align with that, and the universe is energetically going to align that abundance and money and success to you through your intentions. So focus on the smiles instead of focusing on numbers, and it was the best thing I did. And you know, it was quite a strange thing for me to do, because obviously for 6 years I'd been a blogger and influencer and having my couponing brand, and obviously my worth, everything I did was determined on my followers, numbers, how many people clicked my links, viewed my stuff, always, it was numbers. And then to go into this, it was almost like I still had that mindset where I was focused on numbers, and I kind of almost dehumanized my following. And it was like, whoa, this is like totally wrong. No, no, no. Think about the humans, think about the people behind that number. There are real life people behind that number, and that's what you have to focus on, the smiles. And since that, I have been so much happier. Money flows to me, my needs are always met, and you know, the people who need to find my work always do find my work. So measure your success on smiles rather than money, and you will always be happy, and the people will always find you. So that's how I've personally created real success in my life. And even look at success and judge success is by saying, you know, okay, that could have taken 10 years in the process, that could have taken someone 8 years in the process. Like, what we see is the success there and then, when actually there's a whole journey. There's you know, and that person's probably not telling you about the 98 times they failed before that one success. Like, they're not showing you the times they were you know, literally giving blood, sweat and tears to that, and having knockbacks, having rejections, having setbacks, all of that. But you see the glamorized, we all see the glamorized success of it, and we're like, oh, that's easy, when actually nobody's posting their failures. Nobody's talking about how hard sometimes this journey is to get your brand out there, get your business out there, get that success or recognition that you're after. So taking the time to really master and learn your trade is not a bad thing. It has given me a lot of strength. It has made my work more enjoyable, and it's meant that my content is so much more valuable to people as well. So definitely don't look at someone and think, oh, they're an overnight success, because you'll see, if you dig deep enough, you'll see that there is years of effort, preparation, commitment and consistency that has gone into that person, that business, that brand, that Instagram, whatever. So I hope this video has helped you guys. As always, please let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below, because I love to hear what you think and I reply to all your comments. So thank you so much guys for watching my video. I appreciate all your views and likes. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, because I would love to see you again soon. And don't forget, you can join my free Law of Attraction support group over on Facebook, where you can join myself and other like-minded souls, where we talk all things Law of Attraction and spirituality. So I hope you have a great week, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you all in my next video, which will be next week. Lots of love, guys.